What? And that I go on to say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice on my bay, yeah. You riding on me. I get my drip overseas. Niggas are hating on me, yeah.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Pieces and blessings upon all my Akhis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Split Decision. I'm your host, Akhi. To my left is no other than
Professor Nims, the pundit with the PhD in pugilism.
Talk to him nice. Don't talk to him twice, because that's a real-life professor with a PhD degree in real life. So that being said, to all the casual fans, it's a pleasure to have y'all here. Welcome to the Akhi University, where hopefully one day y'all will graduate and become hardcore fans. Now, since a lot of casual tune in, we offer the book of the truth. So since people love to judge a book by its cover, we're going to paint a perfect picture for y'all. So when y'all do take the time out of y'all day to read the book, hopefully y'all will have a better chance of graduating from the Akhi University. Now, we got real-life professors teaching at the Akhi University.
Classes in session. Let's get it.
So to attend the Akhi University is free $99. All you got to do is click on that subscribe button below. To get smarter by the minute, if you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual fans. So for all the casual fans, it's a pleasure to have y'all here. To all my Akhis / brothers / Migos, we're going to represent, we're going to show in, and we're going to show out. Shout out to New Media, shout out to Deontay, and we're going to get straight to it. Now, Deontay Wilder obviously fought last night, and it ain't the knockout of the year till Deontay Wilder stepped into the ring. And it's no longer another one. Scratch what DJ Khaled says. It's a better one, because every time Deontay Wilder steps in the ring, he delivers better knockouts time and time again. Now, Ortiz was very game. He came to fight, and he didn't look like he was 40 years old. Matter of fact, he fought like he was 36, probably 26. Yeah. And that version of Ortiz, the way he was in shape, the way he was varying his offense and defense, giving Wilder different looks, I believe could be a lot of heavyweights. And that's the same reason they didn't want to step in the ring with him. Yeah. Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Ortiz. AJ had the chance to. He was his mandatory. He lied to him. Eddie Hearn had to release him out of his contract. So Wilder had to step in and clean his mess not once, but twice. He knows Ortiz was fighting for his daughter. He gave him a chance because Wilder got into the sport because he was fighting for his daughter. And Ortiz, I got a lot of respect for him because, you know, getting hit by that Wilder right hand, it's like it's not human. You know, his right hand is an eraser. It erased everything Ortiz did on them judges' scorecard. So
right.
He was doing perfect, but like Wilder always preaches, you got to be perfect the whole night. If you're not perfect for 2 seconds, then you could possibly get knocked out. Mayweather used to say, every mistake you make, you have to pay. Wilder is doing it his way, which is, if you ain't perfect for 2 seconds, you get knocked out. So you got to be perfect the whole night. And that's very tough to do in the heavyweight division. That being said, they hated Floyd Mayweather once he was Money May moving up 5-weight divisions, fighting at the 4th and 5th weight division, dominating his opponent, and he was very technical. They didn't appreciate that. Now, Wilder doesn't have the technical skills that Floyd has, but he has the knockout that everyone claims they want to see, right?
Yeah,
but they still hate on the brother. So Deontay Wilder knocked out Ortiz. You picked Ortiz. You did 40 push-ups. If you didn't see the reaction to the live fight, check it out. We had a great time. Professor Nim obviously picked Ortiz, but he lost. He took his loss like a man, and he gave my man Wilder his props. Now, what you got to say to that? Were you impressed by Ortiz and the way he performed, and how did you see the whole fight playing out?
Yeah, I thought Ortiz did what we expect him to do. I thought he thoroughly outboxed Wilder. I had him up winning every round. Apparently, the judges, I think one judge had him winning 4-5, or it might have been some of the
he was definitely
kind
winning.
of report. So I had him winning every round. I thought Wilder didn't do anything up until that faithful right hand landed right on top of Luis Ortiz's forehead. But I thought he boxed admirably. I think that with that performance, there's maybe only one other person that would give Ortiz trouble, which is the Tyson Fury, just because of his movement. I don't think AJ really wants anything from Ortiz at this point. Him against
Ruiz.
Ruiz would be a very interesting fight. I would still give the nod to Ortiz. I would like to see how he rebounds from this fight. He did. I thought he came in phenomenal shape. I thought he had a really good plan, which I thought was going to break down Wilder because he was really going to the body and he was taking Wilder's legs away. And I thought that was purposefully to not only break his opponent down, but also to kind of take away his power. But Wilder is kind of a freak of nature. He really doesn't generate power from his legs. He's very thin legs. His is just his leverage. He's a heavyweight Tommy Hearns, but that doesn't necessarily do Tommy Hearns that much justice because Tommy Hearns was very technical. I think Deontay's last name is appropriate
definition
because he is wild. But that right hand, I think that he probably is the most devastating puncher in the history of boxing because
you said earlier Ortiz got hit on the forehead. It wasn't even on the chin. When you get hit by Deontay Wilder, that's all she wrote. Because getting hit on the forehead and the way he got knocked out, he fell down by sections. You know what I'm saying? And his reaction to the punch, it's like he had nightmare on this punch since the lead up to the fight. And like I said, to hit somebody on the forehead and still be able to knock him out, he could possibly go down as the greatest puncher of all time because he hits that hard. I mean, it's like getting hit by a train. Ain't no waking up from that. And Ortiz, like you said, he was doing a great job. I mean, he was going to the body. He was going to the head. He was varying his offense. He was countering Wilder. And he was breaking all Wilder down. And in my opinion, he would perform better than he did the first time. I'm talking about Ortiz.
Absolutely.
And Wilder, though, to his credit, he, regardless of all of that, he was fighting for position. And he got in the perfect position to land that right hand. Now, his name is Wilder. He's wild, right? But when he do knock his opponents out, it's a short, sharp punch. It don't be normally these wild punches.
Sometimes. I saw him do a version of a windmill one time when he got the first fight, you don't remember?
Yeah,
he was
I'm just saying it worked for him, but speaking of last night, it was a short, sharp punch. He threw a right down the pipe, and it wasn't a counter. It was actually led with it, and he caught Ortiz at the last couple seconds of the 7th round, the same round he was hurt the last time. That's why we having this rematch. So I got to give Wilder credit for fighting Ortiz the second time because we got Tyson Fury. He claimed he beat Wilder, but when it was time to take the rematch for $40 million, he went the other way. He won no smoke because he was like, maybe I don't wake up from that coma like I did the first time in 4 seconds. So that's what Tyson was, afraid of. Meanwhile, I got to give Wilder credit for fighting Ortiz the second time.
It was
for him,
big gamble.
That was a gamble when he didn't have to. And that's the reason for all these heavyweights not stepping in the ring with Ortiz, and we saw it last night. Not everybody could generate that power. Like Wilder, the fact that he was losing like that and he wasn't throwing that many punches because he was aware of Ortiz. Every time he had a reaction, Ortiz countered. I believe, during the live, we talked about it. I was telling you, Wilder, he need to feint. He need to throw the jab more often. And he started doing that around the 6th and 7th round where he was kind of throwing hooks more so. And that's what set up the right hand, in my opinion, a little bit because he was kind of throwing the hook more so and the jab. And that's what Wilder need to do more of. Can you picture Wilder actually correcting some of the technical mistakes? Man, he'd probably be one of the best fighters in the world because of his power. But regardless of any of that, when you got an eraser, it don't really matter.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, you got to be perfect the whole night. And if you box, you're going to get hit. Just like if you swim, you're going to get wet. So that being said,
yeah, one thing I want to, and that's one of the reasons why I do credit him with being the most devastating puncher in the boxing history. Cause there's a couple of things. So when you think about Mike Tyson was a two-fisted boxer, but he also broke down his opponents. He did have the one punch knockouts, but Tyson was somebody who was very technical. He was able to get his whole body into punches. He set him up. His technique was supreme. And Wilder doesn't seem to have to do any of those things. He can just blast off a right hand after getting thoroughly outboxed and leave somebody on quit street. So I have to give him credit. A lot of my friends get mad at me sometimes because I kind of cringe sometimes when I watch him fight, but I have to give credit where credit is due. This guy is a
monster.
Emmanuel Stewart, devastating puncher.
Emmanuel Stewart said that Wilder will be a heavyweight world champion as soon as he saw him because of his power. And he told Wilder that, yeah, you ain't fighting the high-level oppositions yet, but even when you step up, you're going to still knock your opponents out because you got that that kind of power. Now, his opponents either got to knock him out before he knocks them out or be perfect the whole night, which is kind of almost impossible to do because Wilder seemed to always find the right hand every fight. You know, he either dropped his opponents or knocked them out. Either way. Now, I got to give credit to Wilder, like I said, and he gave me flashbacks of Prince Nassim Hamed with his outfit when he first walked in the ring. I know, man, that got to be scary for Ortiz. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he a fighter. He ain't afraid of nobody. He got in the ring with the baddest man on the planet twice. But the way he walked in the ring, it just gave me that flashbacks of Prince Nassim Hamed entrances. And to wear that outfit, like you said during the live show, you got to be able to win in impressive fashion to pull it off.
Are you gonna be a meme?
Yeah, you know what I mean? But Wilder definitely did the meme. He drew the meme up. If a picture says 1,000 words, the way he knocked out Ortiz says 1,000,000 words. And that's his power. Is an eraser. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what round it is. It don't matter if it's the first round. It don't matter if it's the 12th round. Wilder carry his power throughout, regardless if you're breaking him down or not. All he got to land is one time. I mean, that name should have been for Keith, not for Keith Thurman, but for Wilder more so. Because all he needs is really one time. Mm-hmm. Forget being wild. all he needed to land is one punch. That's all it takes. All it takes is one. All it takes is one. That's what he was turning up to after the fight. Now, Deontay Wilder tied Muhammad Ali with 10 title straight defenses. So, what better way to do it in an impressive fashion by knockout against one of the best heavyweights in the world, the most technical fighters in the world, and that's Ortiz. You know, you got to put some respect on his name because I heard Tyson Fury's trainer says, oh, that was our belt. It's not his title defense, but y'all had the chance of rematching him right away. Y'all chose to go another direction, so don't claim, oh, that's your title or none of that because it was a draw. So the real champion is Wilder. He the baddest man on the planet. And he tied Muhammad Ali for straight 10 title defenses. The greatest of all time, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I love Muhammad Ali. That's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Matter of fact, he is my favorite fighter of all time. However, obviously Wilder, he's the opposite of Ali. You know, Wilder, he relies on his power. Muhammad Ali relied on movement and hand speed and IQ. But at the same time, regardless of that, to have 10 title defenses is not easy to do because I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, Wilder didn't fight nobody, this and that. Wilder just fought Ortiz. Fury. Ortiz again. And then he already saying the Fury fight is set up for the rematch. Then he called out Ruiz if he could pull that off. These names, I mean, you got to give the man his props. Coming off a Stavern knockout too. And look at Tyson Fury after the Wilder fight. He fought 2 tomato cans, and his last fight against Wallen, a fighter that nobody knew, almost beat him. So it's not an easy thing to do to defend your title 10 times because it's only few fighters that enter that round, and Wilder definitely did so with his impressive knockout he had last night. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to that you say what? Him tying Muhammad Ali. And back in the day, obviously, when you defend your title 10 times, you become a super champion, which means you no longer have to fight your mandatories because you defended it 10 times, so you're a proven champion. You ain't going to be forced to mandatory. But now, they hand in super champion titles. I remember Prince Nassim Hamed defended his title 10 times over a 5-year reign. Mm-hmm. However, now, like I said, Lomachenko getting super titles and French France titles just because he on the hopeless. So what you think about Deontay Wilder tying Muhammad Ali list?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a good accomplishment for him. I I look at them differently because Muhammad Ali fought in maybe the best era for heavyweights, but I give Deontay Wilder credit because there has absolutely been not one fighter that he's avoided. So he's fought the people that they put in front of him. He's took on the challenges. He's took on risky fights. He has the best resume out there for any heavyweight. So with that, I give him credit. I think it's a really good accomplishment, and I think he is a couple of fights away from accomplishing his goal, which is
one face,
one name, one champion. And I don't really see anybody stopping him at this point.
And one thing for sure, Deontay Wilder is not Rocky Marciano, where he punched a bunch of tomato cans and never had a meaningful fight. Wilder, he came to the sport late, fighting for his daughter, just like Ortiz fighting for his daughter, like I mentioned earlier, and he gave him a shot twice. But Wilder got into the sport late, and him catching up, winning a bronze medal, coming to the boxing game. When I first seen Wilder, I knew he was a devastating puncher, but I never knew he was that devastating. I mean, he's not human. Mm-hmm. That man is his power. He generated all the way back from Alabama. Like he punches with his people. That's it's like getting hit by a train almost. So the fact that Wilder, never ducked anybody. There's only few fighters that fought everybody and caught out everybody. Muhammad Ali is definitely one of them. Shout out to the greatest Muhammad Ali. May he rest in peace. One of the greatest human that ever lived. Muhammad Ali never ducked any smoke. He wanted all the smoke. And Wilder gave me flashbacks of that because unlike Tyson Fury, unlike AJ, he wants all the smoke. He wanted to fight Klitschko. It was Klitschko who turned that fight down. He wanted to fight Stavern instead. It was him wanting to fight AJ. AJ wanted no smoke and turned down his own offer of $15 million to fight a cheater like Povetkin. He wanted to fight all these fighters like Povetkin, which they end up using steroids and got busted. So it's not his fault. And he's still doing the most by fighting Ortiz twice. A guy that's so dangerous, I wouldn't do that. I'll be honest with you. If I'm in Wilder's shoes, I would never do that. Mm-hmm. If I beat him, I already knocked him out. I ain't going back to revisit that. Like Wilder said after the fight that the reason he wasn't throwing a lot of punches is because Ortiz is so calculated that Ortiz was always a couple steps ahead of him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of if he try to play that IQ game with him, Ortiz is gonna be five steps ahead of him each time. So he decided just to take his time, put himself in the right position to land the right punch, which he did because he knew he was coming. So he was just patient. Didn't want to make the same mistake he made the first fight or with the Tyson Fury fight, which he did a pretty good job because I could say, oh, you're technically making this error, you're technically making that error, but what does it matter when all he has to land is one punch, which is an eraser, and erases everything his opponent just did? You know what I mean?
And I would say that Ortiz dictate the terms of that bout, which is one of the reasons why Wilder wasn't throwing. But Wilder doesn't throw a lot. He doesn't have to his credit, but he's not somebody who has a high punch out rate. He doesn't. When it comes to ring generalship, you're not going to look at him and say, oh, he dictated where the fight happened. In my view, I thought that Ortiz had hurt Wilder, or at least stunned him, and then I thought Ortiz got a little happy, and that allowed him to, and then he kind of closed that distance with Wilder. If you go back and look, he actually had some really good moments where he was really starting to put some hurtful punches, because Ortiz was managing time. He knew about the right hand. He was doing a pretty good job of circling away from the right hand, but he became a little happy with the success that he was having against Wilder, and I thought Wilder capitalized.
Yeah, Wilder definitely capitalized and put himself at the right position. And boxing is all about positioning, timing, right distance, especially when it comes to that knockout blow. It's a technique behind all that madness. But I believe Ortiz beats a Tyson Fury, beats a AJ, beats almost a lot of these heavyweights, and that's the reason why the boogeyman in the division, and that's the reason why that Dillian White ducked him when the WBC mandated a fight, and all these fighters, including AJ and them. Now, is Deontay Wilder the hardest hitter of all time?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's his saving grace. I don't. I mean, but that's what we want to see. That's what we, particularly from our heavyweight champion. I think that he is. He's somebody who doesn't have to break his opponent down. He doesn't really throw in combinations or not any kind of sequence that you would look at and be like, oh wow, that was a nice combination, like Tyson would do, or like a Holyfield or something. Joe Louis gets credit a lot of times because he had a punch that would travel about 6 inches, and he still. I think that Wilder is even more powerful than him, and so if we had to gauge it, there's Foreman that's up there also. I would put Wilder up there.
Yeah, Wilder that doesn't even have to hit you at the sensitive spot, like on your chin, at the right spot. He hit you on your forehead, you still go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still knocking out cats to this day, hitting them on the forehead anywhere, and he just has that type of devastating power. I used to say George Foreman because George Foreman obviously fought in the greatest era of heavyweight. He even fought one of the hardest punchers of all time and knocked him out. But
Ernie Shavers.
yeah, George Foreman had power, but he lacks technique, just like Wilder. But I believe Wilder has more hand speed. He's not technical at all, but like I said, he knows how to set up that knockout blow. And one thing for sure, I felt like George Foreman has natural power, but when George Foreman hit his opponents down, they get up. Then he knocks them down like Frazier and them. Mm-hmm. But Wilder hits you one time and you don't get up. It's like what Ali used to say. Ali, when he was about to fight George Foreman, boom my a, Ali, boom my yay. Mm-hmm. He fought George Foreman in Africa, and he was telling people that, yeah, George Foreman is one of the hardest hitters of all time because he had 47 fights, I believe, at the time or something like that, with like 45 knockouts, a crazy record. And he was undefeated too, the champion of the world. However, Ali was pointing out, when I fought Sonny Liston will hit his opponents and they will stay down. George Foreman was hitting them and they will get back up. But Wilder, he has that effect. He hits you, you don't even get back up. Like, if you saw Ortiz's reaction, I felt bad for the brother. You know what I mean? So Wilder definitely the hardest hitter of all time, or at least arguably one of the hardest hitters of all time.
Yeah,
now, if there's a room of 5 people, Wilder has to be in there.
He has to be
for the hardest hitter of all time. I don't care if it's George Foreman. I don't care if it's in the lower weight divisions like Prince Nassim Hamed or whoever it is. You have to put Wilder, Deontay Wilder in that bracket. Now, Tyson Fury came out and he stated that he will school Deontay Wilder again. The only thing Deontay Wilder has is a knockout blow. Mm-hmm. He was laughing at his performance. But funny enough, they keep promoting Tyson Fury getting up from his power, from getting dropped from Wilder and getting up. That's been his promotion for the last 2 fights. You know what I mean? They've been using Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder fights, there's a buzz. We want to see the rematch now. People hyped up. Tyson Fury fought. Nobody cared because he was fighting a tomato can and he almost lost. So his popularity definitely didn't grow. Deontay Wilder stays rising. So he obviously the A-side, but I'm just saying, Tyson Fury keep talking all that, but he didn't take the rematch right away. Like, let's tell it what it is. If you was that confident and you claim you won 10 rounds easy, well, why didn't you fight Wilder right away? Wilder agreed to a rematch right away, send you $40 million guaranteed. You chose to go to ESPN. And still, that whole ESPN contract is part of it is fighting Wilder, whatever guaranteed money he's gonna earn.
Well, they're fighting in February, right?
Yeah, but supposedly, unless Tyson Fury pulls something, because he stated that he might get injured during WWE, and he acted like he was injured. So I don't know if he's gonna fight him right away or not, but I'm pretty sure he is. So. How you see that fight playing out? What do you think about Tyson Fury comments? It's something we already know because obviously Wilder only has a puncher chance because Tyson Fury is the better boxer. But that's all he needs because he showed time and time again he could deliver that punch. So as long as he catch Tyson, that's all she wrote.
Yeah. So I think it would be similar to what we saw in the first fight, and even with the Ortiz fight. I think we're going to see large or long parts of the fight where Wilder is getting outboxed. It's gonna be clinical, or you're gonna be saying this, and then all of a sudden he's gonna explode and he's gonna land. And I think this time he'll actually knock out Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah, you think he's gonna knock out Tyson Fury?
I think he's gonna knock out Tyson Fury.
Well, my take on that, Tyson Fury in the first fight, you know, he obviously has great upper body movement for a heavyweight for his size. So he was just, as soon as Wilder reacts, like as soon as Wilder moves, because Wilder has bad intention with every punch.
Yeah.
So as soon as Wilder will even, move, Tyson Fury is out of there, at least will move his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what Wilder needs to do, which I think will be very, very effective against Tyson Fury, is let Tyson Fury bite on some couple feints. Like you actually finna throw and see his reaction. Then you're going to see his head placement. Then you might catch him with that shot and set it up with the jab. Obviously, even if the jab don't land, throw it out there because it's going to be a blind shot. You know, just the blind Tyson Fury and catch him with the right hand. You know what I mean? Hide the right hand. Don't telegraph it as much. Go to the body because, like I said, if Wilder actually go to the body with his power, he could easily knock a couple fighters out to the body. If Wilder, like I said, his offense is a little bit faint, I feel like he will figure out Tyson Fury movement and where he'd like to place his head because he obviously relies on a lot of head movement. Yeah. So when you find a guy like that, you can't just throw, especially not throw wild. You got to throw sharp and calculated punches. And both of the shots that he caught Tyson Fury the first time was short punches. And they weren't that wild. Like, it was just short right hands, either in the inside or in the outside, but it was a straight right hand. So I feel like Wilder need to kind of go to the body, go to the head, and feint, and use his jab to hide the right hand. If Wilder does that, or either because he was the aggressor the most night, go in with the high guard like his opponent did, Wallen, because they're gonna make Tyson react, especially in the inside. And then if you catch him in the inside, maybe that's all she wrote too. So I could see Wilder knocking him out. I would definitely see Tyson Fury outboxing him, but he's going to be cautious. It's going to be in the back of his mind getting dropped the first time. Yeah. That's always going to be in the back of his mind. His family didn't want him to take this rematch. They didn't want him to fight Wilder the first time. His dad don't want him to fight Wilder. So it's the reason why. So that's going to be in the back of his mind. He could act like he's confident, and obviously he is confident, but how confident is he? Because if he was that confident, he would have fought Deontay Wilder right away because he claimed he wanted a rematch right away, and Wilder gave it to him, but he didn't take it.
He's supposed to say that, and I think that with Tyson Fury, you never really know what's going on with his mind, but I think that he is – so the longer that you string this along with that tie, the more that you can use Wilder to promote anything that you do, right? So I'm the guy who – a lot of people thought beat Wilder. We had a tie. I outboxed him. So that's going to follow him around. So he's using that for leverage. I like what you said about the different strategies that Wilder could use against Fury. I think that those would be effective. I don't think Wilder has it in him. I just don't think that he's that type of fighter. That's just me. Somebody you talking about like using feints and using different positioning and stuff. I just think that he looks at a target and swings. Well, but and then because if you watch the first fight, Tyson Fury was the one who not only using upper body movement, but he was using feints. Then he was popping the jab. He was circling away from the power. He did. It was to me it was a masterful boxing. I actually had him winning that fight in there, but Wilder dropped him.
Yeah, I thought it was a draw, but. Wilder dropped him, and he really didn't beat the count. The referee gave him more count. It is what it is. That's why we want to see the rematch. But I agree with you. Wilder doesn't apply these things that I mentioned, but these are basics, boxing, fundamentals. But Wilder, he focused too much on being at the right spot, landing his KO blow. He an artist at that. I'm not going to tell the brother what to do because it worked 41 times, you know what I'm saying? He an artist at, finding the right moment because all he need is one. So he tried to position himself at the right time, and if you could get that right punch, it don't got to land on the chin, it could land anywhere. It's still gonna knock his opponent out. However, if he does the things that I mentioned, it's gonna help him set up that knockout blow earlier than that. Because he's gonna have Tyson Fury worrying about more than one thing. Because Tyson Fury in the first fight, all he was worried about is the Deontay Wilder right hand.
And he ducked it several times.
Yeah, he wasn't worried about the jab, the left hook. So Wilder, if he have Tyson Fury kind of thinking about the jab, the left hook, go to the body. Because like I said, Tyson Fury, he could do all the head movement, but the body doesn't move. So if he throws haymakers even to the body, he's going to have Tyson Fury trying to protect his body. It's going to leave his head open. So the body don't move. So if, like I said, Tyson Fury could easily get stopped to the body by Wilder if Wilder lands the right punch at the right time.
Yeah.
So like I said, if Wilder does do those things, I believe he will get the knockout earlier in a better fashion instead of maybe getting outboxed and then getting the knockout. But at the same time, he an artist. He knows what he's doing. I'm not going to tell the brother what to do, but I'm just throwing things that I would like Wilder to do because I'm finna put my money on the line. Obviously, I got Deontay Wilder all day. You
going to Vegas? You gonna bet?
I'll probably go to Vegas for the Ruiz fight, but I definitely would love to go, but I just can't go because obviously I'm gonna go back to to the university that you teach at. You know what I mean? So I got to do what I got to do. Now Deontay Wilder called out Ruiz and Fury. Obviously, he said that the Fury fight is already set, and then Ruiz, which that's gonna be crazy. Like that's legendary for Wilder to fight Fury, then Ruiz after he knocked out Ortiz the second time, just fought Fury the first time, for Ortiz, for Stavern, knocked him out, and he beat. If you could even break Muhammad Ali record for more title defenses, that will be legendary. So him versus Ruiz, seeing how Ruiz fights, seeing how Wilder fights, can Ruiz beat Wilder? Does Ruiz have to get Wilder out of there before Wilder gets him out of there? Is Ruiz going to fight him in the inside where he's going to be in the pocket where Wilder maybe can't even generate as much?
Nope.
So I
mean, I think
what? Like, what do you?
I think with Ruiz, so first of all, Ruiz has to beat Joshua. I don't think that's a given.
We're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah, but against Wilder, I think that he's gonna have some success, but Ruiz is not that hard to hit. He's a good boxer, but he's not that hard to hit. And with Wilder, so it's not just about not getting hit a lot or doing this; it's just not getting hit at all. And I don't think Ruiz can do that for 12 rounds. Ruiz has the better technique. He has the better pedigree, the better background. Their hand speed is comparable. Wilder's probably a little bit faster to the point, but Ruiz throws in combination, and he throws better combinations. But I think Wilder just right. All he has to do is clip him on the top of the head. Doesn't have to be on the chin. He clips him on the top of the head. Ruiz is gonna do a funny little dance. Wilder's gonna run in with some windmill punches, and we're gonna right. So I think right now with the landscape, I don't really see anybody doing it. Even with Joshua. Joshua is mentally he has to kind of get over his fragility.
No chance. I'm sorry, Joshua has no chance. But Ruiz, he possibly does have a chance.
I think with his power, I think with Joshua's power.
Man, his power ain't do a damn thing with Ruiz. Ruiz got a great chin to his credit.
Ruiz had never been dropped before. Ruiz didn't even know what happened.
And he recovered. He got up, and that showed that he might take a Wilder punch better. But I don't even think none of that matters. If Wilder cracks you, it don't matter who you is. You have to have that Ali chin where you get dropped in the 15th round by Frazier with a perfect left hook and get up in 1 second like nothing happened, and you tired as hell, getting hit to the body by like 400 punches up to that point. You got to have that type of a chin to kind of withstand a Wilder blow or know how to kind of move with it. Ruiz, even him going into the inside, he more of a counter puncher. Yeah. Like Ortiz, but he's more so in an orthodox stand. So the Wilder will be able to use his jab because he will have the reach.
I thought you were gonna say kind of like Canelo, because Canelo is very.
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, I'm talking about more so like Ortiz, because Ortiz is a counterpuncher. However, Ruiz lacks height, but he knows how to fight tall fighters. But Wilder will be able to utilize his jab. He would be able to, kind of create that leverage. And even in the inside, I seen Wilder one time kind of step in outside, land a couple meaningful punches, and knocked his opponent out on the inside. So he knows how to fight in the inside when he's comfortable and he knows what's happening. But sometimes Wilder, when you come to him, I remember in the first Ortiz fight, he got that counter right hand. If you could go and kind of avoid that punch, that's all she wrote for him. Like, he's just going to cover up. So I would love to see that fight, but I definitely got to go with Wilder. I can't go against Wilder right hand because I was worried last night. I thought I was finna do 40 push-ups. I'm not in shape to do nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could bust 70 push-ups in shape.
I was looking good.
My man,
like
my man.
6 rounds and 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Because there was basically like 2 seconds left in the round.
And you did your push-ups. The ones you did wouldn't even have a push-ups. That was a quarter of a push-up. So it was 10 push-ups.
Let's go to
so
the tape.
You know out of shape.
Let's go to the 8.
You out of shape.
Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape.
But I definitely got to pick Wilder by knockout. But I would love to see that fight. And like I said, if Wilder beats Ruiz, the sky's the limit. He already the face of boxing. He already he trying to make one face, one name in the sport. And that's what every boxing fan dream of. And if every fighter acts and behaves and carry himself like Deontay Wilder does, boxing would be back on the map. I'm talking about on top of NBA, on top of any sport, because we will see the best fights. I had my cousins over for their reaction. They big basketball fans, and they were like, we ain't even watching basketball no more. That's the first time seeing a fight live and a knockout like that. They never seen a knockout like that. My man was like, what happened? He saw him get knocked out. He talking about what happened. I was like, man, he got hit by the bomb squad. Stop playing with him. So Deontay Wilder for sure is the face of boxing. And like I said, his stock keep rising. Tyson Fury, man, we don't see you, man. Where you at? Because Tyson Fury out here keep clout chasing, and he out here keep using Deontay Wilder name to fight WWE. Yeah, stay over there. Because when it comes to the real fighting, that's what Deontay Wilder is made for. Now, I believe Wilder will do well in the WWE as well with his persona and stuff. Now, going to the next topic, Cruz called out Tank and Gary Russell for the first time. Now, first of all, is he capping? Because, man, he dug Gary Russell for years. He dug Regan Diaz for years. You know, you were watching the fight last night. How did you see him perform at 130? He tied the record with Canelo, being a 4-time world champion in 4 weight divisions, which is BS because Cruz, in my humble opinion, don't even belong in that bracket because he don't belong to be a 4-time world champion because Adrian Broner did it, but Adrian Broner fought Maidana, Sean Porter.
You gonna give Broner credit over Cruz?
Broner fought Sean Porter. He fought
Lost.
Maidana.
Lost.
He fought who else he fought?
He fought Paulie Malignaggi for the belt.
I'm saying he fought Pacquiao. He fought Mikey Garcia.
He lost all those fights.
I don't care. He had the cojones to hop in the ring. He had the cojones to hop in the ring. So I got all the respect for Adrian Broner.
Really?
AB all day because all I care about is a fighter with heart that's finna step in the ring with anybody. I could give him all the credit in the world for actually stepping in the ring. People shit on Adrian Broner, but he had the guts to go in the ring. Unlike Cruz, who been ducking for the longest. He ducked Regan Diaz. He ducked Gary Russell. He ducked all these fighters that every fight he would have lost if he actually stepped up.
To me, Adrian Broner is somebody who had, and I'll get to Cruz, who every time he stepped up, he's lost. He got embarrassed by Madonna. They were trying to prop him up as the next Mayweather, and he got embarrassed in that fight.
So who you respect more, Adrian Broner or Cruz?
Cruz.
For what?
Because Cruz wins his. He's only had one loss. I think one draw.
Who have he fought? He ducked Regan Diaz. He moved
could
up
be.
in weight to fuck Rigondeaux.
Could be.
Deontay got an interview with him saying, Rigondeaux offering you $1 million. You gonna take that fight? He said $2 million. He's like, $2 million? He said, no, $3 million. Dante said $3 million with a beer. Is he gonna fight him? He like, yeah. Like, man, let's stop it, man.
We
So
over
is he
here,
ducking or
over
not?
here in
Did
this
he-
class,
did
like
he duck him or not?
we respect the win. A lot of people, I'm not gonna get into if he ducked Rigondeaux.
He ducked
I
Gary
don't
Russell
know.
and Rigondeaux. Gary Russell with his father, disrespected Cruz, and he didn't say nothing about that. And like I said,
He did say something about it.
he didn't say all he said. Oh, I didn't take offense to that because you don't got no cojones. You weren't even watching the fight. Did you even watch the fight? You
I
did
did
not
watch the
watch the
fight.
fight.
I did watch the
Go
fight.
back
I did
live.
watch
We
the fight.
reacted to the fight live, and Professor Nim was on his phone the whole time talking, having
I
a
was
great
talking
time.
on the phone.
No, you was just checking your phone. You didn't even watch the fight the whole time. You don't even know what took place. I didn't
did.
either. I'm not gonna lie, cause I could care less. He boring. He claimed Rigondeaux boring. He boring because he fighting unknown fighters, and all he throw is punches with no steam behind him. Best believe when Rigondeaux, you watching for that counter to come because you know when it lands, you finna say, "Ooh, hold on."
I mean, one thing I will
Look,
say is that
look, they put a strap on his head. They told him fight Rigondeaux. He said, "Hell no." They said fight Gary Russell. He said, "Hell no." Now he trying to save face because he trying to cash out because he got no respect in the
he
boxing
straight called
game.
him out. It's on record.
Call who out?
You just said he called out Gary Russell and he called out
He
Tank,
tryna
which
cash
is like
out.
I
He
don't
tryna cash out.
I don't understand that one. But the thing about Cruz is that his fights look similar. So round after round is going to be the same thing. I think that he takes too many punches, and that's something that and then his style is where he throws a lot of punches that don't really have a lot behind them. So a lot of times it's even hard to judge his fights in a sense. I don't think he's going to have that success against Gary Russell Jr., but I can't be surprised, and I think he should stay away from Tank. I think that he will get bodied, but I do respect him. I don't. The thing with Broner, I think that Broner is rightfully is labeled as the clown prince of boxing because he is the definition of cap. Like he caps all the time.
But now when it comes to fighting,
yeah, but he gets his ass whooped.
I could care
Pardon my
less.
language.
I could care less if Rigondeaux fought Cruz. He would have knocked out Cruz. If Gary Russell fights Cruz, even now he knocks out Cruz. Gary Russell, Tank Davis knocks out Cruz. So if he fight all these fights, he gets knocked out too. At least Adrian Broner had the cojones to get in the ring with a Maidana, get in the ring with a Sean Porter, get in the ring with a Mikey Garcia. He got in the ring with the best, regardless win or lose. I got the respect, all the respect for him, and he a 4-time world champion. So that's not too many fighters did. But Cruz maneuvered to accomplish that. So what I'm saying is, you over here acting like you a Cruz fan. You ain't even watching him fight for his fourth
I didn't say I
weight
was a
division
Cruz fan.
fight.
I'm just like I'm not gonna.
You watching Adrian Broner fights though? I know you watch Adrian
It
Broner.
doesn't mean I'm a fan. It's like a lot of people used to watch Mayweather fights because they was watching him
So
to
you
lose.
a- so you a hater.
Okay, so
So you a hater?
name one person that you would favor Adrian Broner with at 147.
That's not my point. My point is he fight the
Nobody.
best. He not
Nobody.
scared to fight the
You would
best.
have done.
He fought the best. He fought
And he
Mikey
lost
Garcia.
all the
He fought.
time. If that was like Mayweather,
I
we
would
have
love
a
to for the Cruz to fight the best, win or lose. I could care less. But he don't even got the cojones to earn my respect. Respect is earned, is not given. You can't even buy respect with money. So Cruz, he want to call Gary Russell out. He want to call Tank Davis. He could have fought Tank Davis for the belt. Tank Davis was supposed to fight him for this fight. However, Tank Davis moved up a weight,
He can't help that.
and he was supposed to fight Cruz. But Cruz didn't want to fight him for the belt. And then he wanted to win Tank vacant belt to accomplish history, then fight him. Like, man, get out of here. He get knocked out. I want to see that fight. Obviously, they're going to probably put it on pay-per-view next because he want to fight Tank Davis just because he the star. But let's see you fight Gary Russell of the world. Let's see you
won't
fight
headline
the Tank
if it's
Davis of the world.
pay-per-view.
No,
It
no,
won't
they
headline.
said pay-per-view according to CEO of Floyd Money Mayweather.
I don't.
Regardless, I'm just saying
It
Cruz
better-
get knocked out. He got no respect. He get knocked out by
No
Gary
respect.
Russell too. Who wins, Gary Russell or
I told you I got Gary Russell in there, but
Exactly.
I
give
respect to
Adrian Broner. He lose all his big fights. Gary Russell loses all his big fights.
Adrian Broner talks a lot. He clowns. He's like disrespectful. He does just Cruz does not. Cruz at
but
least
he
respects
backs it
himself
up by getting in the ring,
Man,
right?
It's just if you a known loser and like you gonna and then you're gonna automatically get a 7-figure paycheck. Yeah, I get in the ring too.
That's not what Canelo do. That's not what Canelo doing. That's not what all these Lomachenko doing. So let's not act like everybody is doing it. Adrian Broner is doing it, willing to lose. He earned my respect. But Cruz, he ain't even trying to get in the ring with the best. I would never give all these fighters that duck Rigondeaux no credit, that moved up a division to duck him. You know what I mean? They took Rigondeaux credit from him because Rigondeaux could have went down one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he's still one of the best because at his best days, I mean, he beat Donaire like he stole something. And Donaire was the 3rd pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Max Kellerman has the gut to say that when Donaire was the 3rd pound-for-pound fighter in the world, he said if Donaire was at 147, people would favor him to beat Floyd. Disrespecting Floyd. And Rigondeaux went and spanked that boy. So, and I love Donaire because he one of the fighters that gave Rigondeaux a shot. That actually fought Inouye. That actually fought
he didn't have to do
Walters.
that too when he fought Rigondeaux. He didn't.
He did have to do it. He did have to do it. The Top Rank had a contract where when they signed Rigondeaux only signed with them because there was a guarantee fight with Donaire. So he did have to. But I give him credit for stepping in the ring with him. Unlike Mares, unlike Cruz, unlike Frampton, unlike Quick. But what I'm saying, Cruz earned
those
no
are
respect.
all the people that Cruz fought.
No, that Rigondeaux, that duck Rigondeaux.
I know, but you.
I could care less. They all in the same bracket.
Cruz beat all
they
those
all
guys.
have no cojones. They fighting each other because they feel like they could beat each other, but they feel like they could never beat no Rigondeaux. They feel like they could never beat a Gary Russell. But we'll see when Cruz fight my man Gary Russell or Tank. I will watch that fight.
I don't think he's
just
gonna fight
to see
Tank.
him
I
get
don't think
slept.
he's gonna fight Tank, but I could see him fighting Gary Russell.
Nah, I see him fighting Tank, not fighting Gary Russell.
Really?
Because he fighting Tank for the money, and he ain't finna fight Gary Russell to get spanked and get knocked out because he ain't finna see nothing that's coming.
Nah, he gonna get slept by Tank.
Like
Gary Russell, I don't necessarily
you don't think he gonna
so.
sleep him?
Gary Russell?
Now. Gary Russell with his hand speed, he gonna be tattooing him. He gonna look like 6'9". He gonna be bleeding with a lot of tattoos in his face because Gary Russell will be tattooing him all night. But any last thoughts?
No, I look forward to seeing that, and I'm gonna put my money on a Gary Russell fight in the spring of 2020.
Exactly. Hey, but he ain't gonna win. Adrian Broner didn't win.
We'll see. That's
nobody
that's why
forced
they
him
fight
to do
fight.
nothing. Adrian Broner, he the problem, right? But you know they had the solution for him. But either way, he stepped in the ring.
There's a lot of solutions to that problem.
He stepped in the ring regardless. So Canelo Alvarez came out and dissed Kovalev. He said he is sore loser. Now Kovalev disrespected you, Professor Name.
Me?
He disrespected you. He said that if you thought he could win the fight, you don't know ish about boxing on some Roger-ish. Roger Mayweather-ish. You don't know ish about boxing. So do you know ish about boxing? Because you picked Kovalev, and he said that if you picked him, you don't know ish about boxing.
Yeah,
he
but
disrespecting you, Professor Nim. How you feel about
what that is that for those out there, that's kind of coded language to say that basically everything was on his terms. You know, the judges were gonna, even if the rounds were close, it was gonna go to him. He had the weight limit cap or whatnot, like the
rehydration clause.
Yeah, the rehydration clause. So he's saying that everything was stacked against me. So if you really think that they were gonna give me a fair shot, then it's not. So for me, like I do understand that. And even with but at the same time,
you're gonna let him disrespect you like that?
Well, even at the same time, the judges weren't disrespectful to me because they actually had it a pretty close fight until the effect
Kovalev was winning. I mean, Kovalev was winning in everybody's eyes, and they had, I believe, Canelo up.
I don't know if he was
they had
winning
Canelo
in
up.
everybody's eyes because
they had
I don't know
Canelo.
if he it was. I thought it was a close fight. I don't know
Regardless
if he was
of him
exactly
pity
winning.
patting and not throwing shit,
Yeah,
he
so-
still didn't. He wasn't losing by a landslide. But
Yeah, it was a close fight.
But the thing is, Canelo Alvarez talking about Kovalev is a sore loser. How about you gave him a fair shake? He already just almost he almost got knocked out by a yard, and he was 1 foot out the door. At least give him a fair shake. He didn't want to fight on the November 2nd date. You forced that date. He didn't want to have a rehydration clause. He an old man, a washed up fighter. You still forced him. So obviously it was a free strap that Canelo Alvarez went up and grabbed, and that's what I'm basically saying. So
Strap season.
So it's duck season for Canelo for sure. So Canelo Alvarez, huh?
That's Charlo, but we'll get to that at another time.
Yeah, but I'm saying Canelo Alvarez, a lot of people felt that the fight was fixed due to them reasons because it was just what the hell was that? Like they try to come back and say, oh, wow, the fight was fixed. Like, did you see how Ortiz failed in sections?
They say that, but also
that's what should have happened to Kovalev if that was a legit knockout.
Wow,
but
you didn't.
Canelo ain't a knockout puncher.
Kovalev fell down in a heap.
I'm not saying.
And then but also, I was looking at that. So if you go and research almost any bout, and then you put fixed at the end, because
Canelo pop up.
No, it'll say there'll be some videos. So I went and looked up Wilder against Ruiz. I'm like, let me just try this out. And you know what happened?
Wilder versus who?
I mean, excuse me, Joshua against Ruiz.
Yeah.
And it was fixed. There's this whole commentary that's out there because
that's not big. It don't even make sense. It usually be fixed when a fighter is the A side. Like, why will they fix the fight for AJ to lose? You know what I'm saying? It don't even make sense. But Canelo did make sense because he was the A side, and there's a lot of fishy things that were going on. Like I said, like having a commercial of him being a 4-time world champion before he actually winning it. But I'm not saying it's fixed. I'm just saying it shows you how much of a pathetic fight it was. You know, that's why I had Canelo winning by knockout easy. And my prediction came true. God only made a couple things perfect.
Easy.
That's Floyd Mayweather boxing record. That's me on split decision. I'm winning every debate
You're
like
crazy.
unanimous decision.
Yeah. So first of all,
I
so
mean,
your point of you don't watch basketball that much, do you? Or even like football. But when they play for like the AFC championship, when the team wins, they have hats, they have shirts. They have all this stuff, but if that team loses or whatnot, they got to go throw that stuff all the way. But they have those things ready, so once that happens, they can crown that person in there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, regardless of that, it was fishy. But we could care less. If it's a fix, that's Kovalev's fault. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to point out is the fact that Canelo is ducking the best time and time again.
Who's the best?
Ducking the Andres of the world. We already talked about that. The Charlos of the world.
Andres the best?
The Charlos of the world.
Charlo's the best?
That's in their prime. That's going to give them a fight. You and your man.
Shout out to London Webb.
London has a show called Apply Pressure on iTunes. I told him apply pressure on Canelo to fight Charlo because according to him and y'all will fly to Vegas to watch that fight.
Yeah,
right?
we will.
Right?
We will.
Meanwhile, Kovalev, my man, Canelo Alvarez biggest fan, and he didn't even show up because nobody care about that. That's why he making history by making up history, fighting a fight that everybody knows he's finna knock out his opponent. Kovalev said if you thought he was gonna win, you don't know ish about boxing. So we want to see fights that's 50-50, like the Charlos of the world, like the Andres of the world. And like I said, since these are brothers, how about fight them on Mexican Independent Day, just like Floyd fought your people on Mexican Independent Day and beat up all your people just to make money. You out here, you trying to take May Day away from Mayweather. Floyd retired and you ain't even fighting on your holidays no more. You fought November 2nd. Had to wait for Nate Diaz to finish his fight because you fighting such a pathetic fight and you only sold 10,000 tickets because men like you that support Canelo y'all not interested to go to the fight. You like, man, I could care less about that BS. But if it's Charlo, it's going to bring in money. Charlo fans going to watch it. He headlines every time. He in his prime. Canelo fans going to watch it. Oh, this the guy that got Canelo strapped. Charlo got Canelo strapped. Like, man, hold on. The WBC, it belongs to...
And then who did he beat for that?
Canelo.
No, he didn't beat Canelo.
So how come he ended up with it? Because Canelo didn't want to fight him.
It's called boxing politics.
Nah, it's called Canelo politics.
We deal with
so last show we talked about it, right? As a matter of fact, that's a good point. Last show we talked about it, and you said that Canelo, he the man, right?
No, hold on. Words in my mouth.
No, you said he the man of the division. He the most.
He is. He's the most accomplished middleweight right now.
You said he could fight anybody.
He can. Yeah. If he's a cash cow in boxing, I still think so.
Okay, but
so if he wants somebody, he can pluck them and say that I'll fight you next.
Exactly. So why he don't fight Charlo? If it's the politics of boxing is not blocking it. Mm-hmm. If they put a strap in Canelo face and tell him you better fight this man, he would rather get stripped than fight him. And that's why the WBC stripped him of that title. That's why they stripped him when he didn't want to fight Gennady Golovkin the first time. He wanted to fight at his own time when the fighter is exposed.
Let me
finish my point.
Okay, then go ahead.
He want to fight a fighter when he's exposed. Like Saunders. He said he's born. He started negotiating with him as soon as the man looked horrible his last fight. He didn't want to fight Gennady Golovkin, got stripped of the belt. As soon as he looked bad against Kell Brook and Jacob, where people thought Jacob won, he fought him. So with Saunders, he's trying to do the same thing.
What about Jacobs?
Jacob had a close fight with Devyachenko. You know what I'm saying?
Devyachenko's a top.
Okay, but I'm saying it was a close fight. Even the fight before that, the guy he fought, Salusky, I believe, he had a close fight with him too. But Andre, when he fought Salusky, he dominated. So he ain't like, hell no, I ain't fighting him till he look exposed. So that's the trend.
No, what he's saying is like fight somebody that's a top 10 middleweight.
Is Canelo versus Charlo a big fight? Hell yeah, you say you're gonna go to Vegas for it.
It is, but at the same time, if you're the boxer that has the leverage, you're gonna fight that person at your term, and then you're gonna put everything in your favor. That's the same thing that Mayweather did.
Mayweather never did that. Explain. No, you said Mayweather.
Okay. When Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez, they fought at a catchweight. They fought at
147.
No, it was 144 pounds.
45.
It was 144 pounds.
45.
It was 140. We can look at it. It was 144 pounds. First of all, he was coming up from 135. And then Floyd, not only that, so he negotiated those terms, and then he didn't even make weight. He came in 2 pounds over and was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I want to do.
That was one time. And first of all,
you said give you an example.
That same Marquez knocked out Pacquiao.
He slept him.
That Pacquiao that they claim he was pound for pound number one. He slept him. That same Marquez, and he called out Floyd. And to tell you why Floyd fought him, he was coming off a 2-year layoff. You saw Keith Thurman, how he looked against Lopez. Floyd Mayweather was coming off a 2-year layoff fighting the third pound for pound that he was actually, people thought he beat Pacquiao at the time. And Pacquiao beat Hatton and Oscar in better fashion than Floyd. But obviously Pacquiao did it when they were kind of on their downhill. Hatton already lost to Floyd. He looked bad against Paulie. Oscar De La Hoya, he fought him at a catchweight. Floyd was like, I'm going to do this since y'all saying he a better fighter than me because he beat the same two guys in a better fashion. We ain't finna play the triangle theories because I'm going to show y'all what I'm finna do to this Marquez that beat Pacquiao. And that same Marquez knocked out Pacquiao. So no excuse is given. Meanwhile, that's a Floyd Mayweather coming off a 2-year layoff. Canelo Alvarez is in his prime. He moving up in weight. Fighting a washed-up fighter. That's the difference. Floyd Mayweather was moving up in weight, fighting the best fighters coming off their biggest win. They never compare. Floyd Mayweather, if he had a Charlo and an Andre in his division, he would have been fought them. Floyd Mayweather, every time you had your best win, he fights you. He ain't finna fight you when you look exposed. Name me a fighter he looks exposed and he fight him. He never did that. He only fought Hatton after his biggest win. Mosley after he knocked out Margarito. Every fighter after his biggest win. Canelo Alvarez fight fighters after their worstest performance. Kirkland getting knocked out by a fighter with 6 knockouts after a 2-year layoff.
He didn't fight him right after that fight. So let's be honest.
But I'm saying he fought him after 2-year layoff, and there was a couple fights before that. It wasn't that long ago. He fought Chavez at a catchweight after getting knocked out by Fortuna. He fought all these fighters after they looked horrible. Even one of his biggest wins, which was a robbery in my opinion, when he fought Lara, he only fought Lara after he looked horrible against Angulo. Angulo dropped Lara twice. And Lara was calling him out for the longest. He disrespected him. That's the only time he fought him. So,
but that was probably like Lara's biggest win at the time.
He fought fighters time and time again. I gave you more than one example. Fighting fighters, either they old, washed up, fighting them at catch weight. He created his own weight, the Canelo weight, at 155.
Really? Man, Pacquiao started that a long time ago.
Pacquiao the king of catch weights, but I'm saying Canelo took the throne now. So I'm saying Canelo Alvarez, you claim he the boss of the division. You know what I'm saying? He could make any fight happen. Well, since Charlo is a big fight him and prove yourself. And prove your critics, not just me, but legendary fighters like Morales, Marquez, Chavez Sr. that got nothing to hate on because they got a resume that was shit on Canelo. Because
you're right there. Like I think so, but what the Marquez said, like I put it on here.
Marquez say he's the third pound for pound, not number one. He said he could possibly go down, but he will never. He would not even touch the legacy of these fighters because he fighting bums. Morales fought Pacquiao in his prime 3 times. Barrera in his time. And I already told you, I debunked that. So I'm just saying, Canelo, we all know he's not the greatest of all time when it comes to Hispanic fighters. But I
don't think so, but I'm saying Canelo, like he gets respect.
Canelo said he want to be undisputed at 160. He said he want to be the first middleweight to be undisputed at 160. How come he don't want to make that dream come true? Because he saw 2 fighters while he was driving on the street. He was driving. He saw, oh, shit, Charlo in the corner. Oh, I'm going to go the different direction. He saw Andre in the corner. He said, you know what? Forget that. I'm going to go north and fight Kovalev, a fighter that's washed up. So that's my point. He fight fighters washed up time and time again, and I keep proving you already admitted.
You haven't proved anything right there. So you haven't proved anything. You haven't proved anything.
With facts.
So with Charlo at middleweight has no resume. Y'all in there, when y'all see this, please write back with something substantive. Tell me what kind of record that Charlo has at middleweight, because we're talking about Canelo being undisputed at middleweight. They gave him a belt.
Why is that?
And
why they gave him a belt?
Dennis Hogan
why
next.
they gave him a belt?
Because
Canelo wouldn't fight
Canelo
him
is the belt.
middleweight.
Canelo is the belt. He was like, man, I don't have to do what y'all tell me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's because he a boss, like I said.
Oh, he the boss, but he got to wait for Nate Diaz to finish fighting? He that boss. Hold on.
No.
He that boss that only sells 10,000 tickets. Hold on. He the boss that give up his strap because he don't got no cojones to fight the fighter that Charlo said he a lion. He got a heart of a lion. He fight Canelo in Mexico City.
Yeah,
he more Mexican than him.
That's the same guy that won't fight Andre. And then so first of all, the thing with Diaz against Masvidal, that's just shining a bad light on boxing in general.
What's that?
So as far as like why they played the UFC fight or why they made Canelo wait, that's just speaking about the popularity of
why
UFC.
Did Canelo request the French fries title to be the champion of McDonald's to avoid a Charlo?
A Charlo?
He requested it.
I don't think he's avoided
anything
about
Explain
Charlo.
that. You said
he's just saying like I want you to do something like what has Charlo done at middleweight to earn a fight?
That. You keep saying that for him. Quit speaking for him. He never said Charlo fight somebody and I fight you. He never said that. He never said that.
That's what he's waiting on. That's what boxers do.
Well, he never
said
that.
Because he was just like, you know what? Like we can make this a really big fight. We can go into this now. If I go and beat you or whatever that. So what he's looking at is just that there's a lot of risk there. Like I'll admit that. But the reward is really nothing because he hasn't beat anybody at middleweight.
He tried to fight Gennady Golovkin. They said no. He tried to fight Canelo. He said no. So if these are the best fighters, according to you, Canelo's the best. They turned it down. They gave him the strap. They said
he tried to fight Jacob.
Listen, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish my point. If the WBC is the champion and you claiming you're the best in the world, and that's the WBC champion of the world in Mexico, this organization is resigned in Mexico, and you gave up that strap. That means you gave up your throne. If you sitting on a throne, you gave it up to Charlo without fighting. The same thing Cruz did. And you got to put a strap on his head to fight this dude. You saying why he got to fight him now? Fight him because it's a bigger fight than Kovalev. Fight him because
it's not.
Chavez. It is.
No,
You
it's
just
not.
said it is. We already said.
I never said that.
Bro, you just said it is, man.
I never said that. Fighting Kovalev was making history. He did something that not even Sugar Ray
made up
Robinson was
history.
able to do. He did something that only Bernard
Sugar Ray
Hopkins
Robertson.
Sugar Ray Robinson tried to go from middleweight and
First of all,
and then
hold
win
on.
the light heavyweight title.
Let me
and
inform
then
you.
he did not do that.
Let me inform you. Sugar Ray Robertson, back in the day, there was no in-between divisions. 154 didn't exist.
There was no 168.
The
but
168.
What I'm saying, but
so
like,
basically, if Canelo was fighting then, he will only be a one-time world champion.
we got to talk about now, though.
But I'm saying, you saying, oh, he tied Sugar Ray Robertson.
No,
you got to play
he
in that.
did
into
something that
fact.
Sugar Ray Robinson wasn't able to accomplish.
Sugar Ray Robertson fought at 135, won a title. Fought at
135.
he fought 135 at lightweight. He moved up to 147. Fought at 147, moved up and won a title at middleweight, and then moved up and fought at 175. These are huge jumps. You cannot compare them. And he was a draw when he fought that champion. He couldn't beat him, but it was a draw, and that's when he was old. He was already old. He already
lost the fight. He was winning the fight, but in the 14th round, because the fight was outside, he was
How many fights
he was
in?
exhausted.
How many fights in he was?
100 plus.
100 plus. Canelo is in his prime. And he ain't trying to fight fighters in his prime. He's trying to fight fighters that's washed up, is my point. You already on an interview. I'm going to play it during this segment. I'm going to play you admitting that Andrade and Charlo are getting ducked by Canelo because Canelo's being strategic. So, like I said, things you bring up already been debunked.
It did that.
Like,
but,
can you
okay.
make
What I'm
up
saying,
your excuses?
like, I know. It's
Because
just
look,
like I'm saying, Charlo, please fight Jacobs. Please
He called
fight
out Jacob.
Please fight Andrade.
He called out Andrade.
Like I promise, if you do those things, then you will probably
He would not
get
fight
that.
him.
You will probably
he
get
would
that.
not get that fight.
That fight.
Because Canelo don't fight fighters coming off biggest win. That's one. Second of all, Canelo is not finna fight Charlo. He gave up his strap. He gave up his throne. And like I said time and time again, Charlo called out Jacob. Charlo called out Andrade. He not cut from the same cloth that Canelo Alvarez is cut from.
Right.
And a lot of points that we keep bringing up, I already debunked. And like I said, I'm too fresh for these dusty excuses. Please bring some new ones. Now, on to the next topic. Lomachenko came out and said, yeah, wipe
I'm
that
fresh,
sweat
no,
off.
I'm fresh myself. I'm
Wipe
just saying,
that
though.
sweat off.
I'm fresh.
I know you
it's
out
a lot
there
of dust
sweating
over
for
here. It's a
Canelo.
lot of dust over here.
Bro,
Like
wipe
I call
that
this
sweat
a
off.
little dust thing right there. So
So Canelo, Lomachenko, he came out and said that he did not request the WBC title. He's stating that the WBC are lying on his behalf. So after that, the next day, the WBC president, Suleiman, came out and stated it was Canelo and Lomachenko that requested the title. Now, I'm not trying to say who's lying. Like, obviously, it's Lomachenko that's lying because why was Suleiman, basically tried to cover up for Lomachenko? Like, that's not his fighter. He ain't making no money off Lomachenko.
He is
They
making money.
requested the title to duck Devin Haney, so he granted to him. That's how he was saying. Now, I'm not finna trying to say, oh, the WBC, I don't blame them for nothing. I blame both. It's basically an argument, what came first, the chicken or the egg? If the egg is the WBC, then Lomachenko is the chicken. You know what I mean? They both to blame. I'm not trying to say, oh, well, WBC is to blame or Lomachenko is to blame. They both are here to blame because obviously the WBC gave Lomachenko and Canelo a way out to avoid Charlo and Devin Haney because these two fighters on the coincidental list and these two fighters on the hope list. They gave them a way out to duck. Now, the WBC president came out and stated that the WBC French Fries title is not a championship title, it is not a title, and it's not a belt. It's a recognition. So basically, you gave up your strap for no reason. Just because you don't want no smoke with these fighters.
from Devin Haney.
From Devin Haney, they put a gun on his head talking about fight this dude. He said, hell no. So what I'm saying is, if he didn't avoid him, since this is not a championship, since this is not a title, since this is not a belt, why he gave up his strap? Now, just what's your whole thought about this French Fries title, what Lomachenko said, what the WBC president said. Your take on that?
I don't. So anytime it's a boxer against a sanctioning body, I'm going with the boxer. I mean, WBC has to be one of the most corrupt sanctioning bodies, organizations in boxing, right? Like Suleiman, like just look at their track record in there. So I don't know what is on the docket right now for Lomachenko. I would put money. I don't bet money. Just because of it's a long history, just kind of when it comes to gambling, family. So I don't do that. But I would put money on there that he is not avoiding Devin Haney. If I was Devin Haney's handlers, I would not put him in the ring with Lomachenko because that's how you can leave an indelible mark, a scar on a young fighter's career if you expose them too early to somebody who is a master boxer at this point.
That didn't happen to Canelo, did it?
Canelo had started boxing professionally when he was 15 years old. Devin Haney can't say that.
I could care less.
Devin Haney can't say that.
I could care less. It didn't happen to Canelo. And one thing you say, Devin Haney don't want the fight, but what facts say, it was Lomachenko and Top Rank who requested that title. It was Lomachenko.
Lomachenko just said he didn't.
The WBC called Lomachenko basically a liar. Do you want to hear on an interview?
No.
What does the WBC president have to gain from, basically doing this? What does he have to gain?
What you do is that you have them, you assign this kind of title to them. So once they do want to get back in, you can be like, hey, we recognized you as this franchise. Once he gets back into the ring to defend his title, he can say that, hey, we still recognize you for this. So guess what? Pay us these sanctioning fees when you fight because we recognize you out there. That's what it is. It's a game.
He's already the WBC. He was already the WBC champion. You act like he didn't have the title already. He already goes in the ring and they put that green strap up and they be like, oh, he the WBC champion of the world. So regardless, Deontay Wilder didn't get it, and he just tied Muhammad Ali record. So what I'm saying is he already the WBC president. So that's not an excuse. Keep in mind, Lomachenko is giving up 10% of his purse for this new request he asked the WBC for. He only was given 2% for the regular title. Now for this French fries, that's not even a belt. It's not even a championship. So basically, he can't even be undisputed when he fought the winner of Lopez versus Comey. He can't even undisputed his goal. So why would you request this title that you ain't finna be undisputed? You're not even a champion, and you finna make more money. Only to avoid one fighter. It's only for one reason and one reason only. You're trying to avoid, and that's why Lomachenko requested it. So you could say otherwise, but facts say
no. I didn't say otherwise. He said otherwise.
That's what you're supposed to say. What he's supposed to say. You know what he gonna do now? He gonna go back and try to hide behind Bob Arum. How you hiding behind a 90-year-old? It's embarrassing. If I'm in high school, right? Let's go back to the high school days. If I'm in high school and I'm about to fight somebody after school, and you my homeboy, right? And you like, man, knock this kid out. He talking ish about you. Man, you got respect on your name in the school. Put some respect on your name. Put some more respect on your name. Mm-hmm. And then I hide behind a 90-year-old person that's trying to push me back. And obviously, I could go circle around him and make the fight happen and push him away. And obviously, 90-year-old man can't hold me back. But I'm going to hide and put the blame behind a 90-year-old man. Man, it's embarrassing what Lomachenko did. That's exactly the words that Devin Haney said. It's embarrassing for him to duck a 20-year-old of Devin Haney. What's your excuse for him ducking Manny Pacquiao?
I don't have Manny Pacquiao.
When Lomachenko was on an interview, came out and said, I turned down a fight with Manny Pacquiao 135. What's your excuse for that?
Why?
But I'm saying,
why is my job to defend Lomachenko?
That's what you're doing.
No. You jump into Pacquiao. I'm talking about this one thing, about this one franchise channel. Don't kind of put up against it.
Is he ducking Pacquiao?
I haven't seen the interview.
But regardless, I'm
the thing is, like Pacquiao is 2 weight divisions.
He said he would move down. Stop maneuvering
I don't know.
around the question like Canelo.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not his manager.
Oh, he's
I'm
stuck.
not saying this.
He's stuck in the corner now.
It's just I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying I'm not. I don't have to defend Lomachenko for everything that he do. We were talking about one topic that I researched. We were talking about the franchise title, and then you are talking about you didn't do nothing. Like I'm saying from the man himself. He said that I did not do this. I'm gonna take his word for it because I do not trust the WBC. They are corrupt.
Like
so
I said, you trying to use the excuse.
I don't have to say anything.
You trying to excuse. He's trying to use the excuse of what came first, the chicken or egg. If the WBC is the egg, Lomachenko is the chicken. Because why would he even accept a title that's not a championship? Why would he accept a title that's not a belt, just a recognition? Why would he accept that given 10% of his purse, not 2%? It's a no-brainer. Why will he do that? Meanwhile, you got to keep in mind, he want to be undisputed. So why he could have told the WBC, he could have told them, how about y'all give me this recognition and I keep the belt and I fight Devin Haney? How about that? But he want a stay busy fight. As soon as Devin Haney called him out, he no longer wanted to fight. He never defended the WBC title that he won by a vacant belt. You know what Lomachenko said, right?
Tell me.
Lomachenko said that any fighter from the top 5 pound for pound could be number one. It's up to these sanctioning, like the Ring magazine and things, to rank these fighters. And then as soon as they asked him about Devin Haney, he said, "Who Devin Haney for?"
I mean, that's a good question.
No, hold on. Let me finish. So he's saying, "Who Devin Haney for?" I thought that's not your job. I thought your job is to fight and prove you number one. Now you're worrying about other people's job. You just said that's their job. Now you're worrying about the ranking job that gave you the French fries title to duck him. And to finish, who did he beat to fight Salido?
To fight Salido,
who did he prove? How he became the mandatory for Salido?
Well, he had over 300 something amateur bouts.
In the pros. Hold on.
He said that he wanted to be the first to do that. Listen. So he fought Salido in his second pro bout.
Pause.
Name somebody who's got the cojones to do that.
Devin Haney. He trying to fight the pound for pound number one.
His second bout.
He trying to fight the pound for pound.
I'm looking at his box rec right there. I'm looking at his box rec.
Listen.
He's got 24 fights. And he's never fought anybody at the level of Salido.
Can I speak my piece? He's trying to fight somebody. Salido was washed up. And he took Lomachenko to the Mexican school. Meanwhile, Devin Haney at 20 years old is daring to be great. And as the number one mandatory, challenging Lomachenko, who ducked him, who didn't want to fight him for the vacant belt. You know, Lomachenko was supposed to fight Devin Haney for the vacant belt, and he actually asked to fight Lil Campbell instead. So what I'm saying is, who did Lomachenko beat to be the mandatory for Salido in the pros? I don't care about his amateur records. Pro is a different sport. The guy that beat Shakur in the amateurs, he lost his first pro fight. I'm talking about what he do in the pros to become the mandatory for Salido. If he claiming, who did Devin Haney fight? Devin Haney was the number one amateur in the U.S. So when he turned pro and he got 24 fights and is your mandatory now, you saying who's Devin Haney? Now who you fought? Who did you fight when you fought Salido? A better question.
We talking about a world champion. You talking about the best in the U.S.
Okay,
that's domestic.
After he lost to Salido, what did he do?
Who did he fight? Who did he fight?
After he lost to Salido,
who did he fight?
What did he earn to get another title for a vacant belt?
He went and he has a good promoter and a manager, and he fought some guy named Gary Russell Jr.
So Devin Haney got a good promoter.
Who has said that?
Hold on.
Devin has not fought anybody at the level of Gary Russell.
You're not following the point. I'm saying if Devin Haney is calling him out, he got a great promoter behind him. Why are you complaining?
He don't have one.
Eddie Hearn. He signed up for. He made $1 million his last fight. What are you talking about? Fighting.
Those of y'all that know boxing, tell me if y'all think if Eddie Hearn is a good. And he's kind of known as a clown in the boxing circuit.
Listen, he had Lomachenko strapped. He was fighting with Lomachenko strapped. he didn't got no cojones to go in the ring with a 20-year-old. However, he gonna claim who is Devin Haney, who he fought to be my mandatory. Meanwhile, you fought nobody to fight Salido. You lost that fight, didn't do a damn thing, and then fought Gary Russell for a vacant belt, and you just lost your last fight. But that's the benefits you get when you're on the hope list, ladies and gentlemen. You lose a fight, and you still get a title against Gary Russell for a vacant belt. Who
is a boss in the game, right? You admit you're
trying to duck a Devin Haney. So what you do, you call up the WBC to request a franchise title that is not a champion, is not a championship belt, is not a belt, is not a title, is none of that. And that's what you get when you are hopeless. ESPN try to erase Lomachenko loss. That's the benefits you get. Adrian Broner gonna get all his loss removed too if he was on the hope list. So that's what I'm saying. Lomachenko is a cap. Just like that cap you wearing, he a cap because he is a lot of cap in his game. He over here talking about who Devin Haney fought when he ain't fought no damn body to fight a Salido. How about have the cojones that Salido had and give Devin Haney the shot? How about that? Quit making excuses for him. Make shit happen. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. You keep saying, I ain't defending him. Oh, because you can't defend him against the Pacquiao situation because he got no excuse. When it comes to the Salido, he can't defend against the Salido.
That wasn't one of the topics.
Because I already debunked that. But when it comes to Devin Haney, he trying to use one excuse, and I already countered it, and he got nothing to say no more.
No, well, I'll say one thing, and we should go on from this. Please keep Devin Haney away from Lomachenko right now. I know he's capping, he's doing all this, but this guy is young. He's he just turned 21 years old. Do not get him schooled by him because he has not fought anybody yet in his career to prepare him for Lomachenko, and Lomachenko will stop him. And I'll say that right now. He will stop him.
Did he stop his last opponent?
Who?
Luke Campbell?
No, he didn't. But like,
did he stop?
But the five before that, he made them stop. What happened with Devin Haney last fight?
Oh, hold on. Did he lost?
What happened to Devin Haney?
He got? Why are you trying to?
I had my shoulder. What happened was?
Did he stop? Did he stop the guy that Tank Davis knocked out? Pedraza?
He did. What? Pedraza?
It was a close fight. Did he stop Luke Campbell? It was a close fight. Let's not act like he Tyson. He Tyson when he fight Corolla.
But did he stop Jorge Linares, who was a great champion? Did he
hold on?
Did he stop Rigondeaux? Did Rigondeaux say no mas?
A guy off 3-year layoff that moved up 2 weight divisions. A 40-year-old version of Rigondeaux. And he couldn't even stop him. Rigondeaux,
what about the Axeman? What about the Axeman?
Okay, well, how about this? Who did Corolla fight? You saying Devin Haney ain't fought nobody. Who Corolla fight to be the mandatory? Now you're questioning the section fees. Like I said, Lomachenko said.
Oh, so you trying to put up Lomachenko resume against Devin Haney?
No, I said who he fought.
Is that what we're doing?
He said who Lomachenko fought. No, he said who Devin Haney fought. But he didn't question Corolla.
I did.
He didn't question Mariaga when he fought him. He didn't say, "Oh, Top Rank, I'm pound for pound #1." Why y'all giving me Margarita? Why y'all giving me Corolla? But when it's Devin Haney or who he fought, I thought you said in the same interview out of his own breath, he said, "Hold up,
he's not gonna get credit for that."
Hold up, he already said out of his own breath, he said that it's not his job to rank fighters. Oh, now it's your job to rank fighters. It's now you questioning people. I thought your job is to fight. So that's my point. We could go all day.
What he wants to do is like he wants to get credit for his win. If he goes and beats up a 20-year-old who has not fought anybody yet in his career, they're not going to give him credit. They're going to say you're picking on the youth, as they would say.
So you could say that, but when Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo, every time he wins, guess what Mayweather does? He wins. If Lomachenko beat Devin Haney, and Devin Haney becomes a pound-for-pound champion in the future, guess what? Lomachenko is winning every time Devin Haney's winning because he beat him. So to that, hold on. So Lomachenko, he fights a Corolla that's a nobody. He fights a Mariaga that's a nobody. But Devin Haney, he does pads with Floyd Mayweather Sr. He does pads with anybody. And guess what? He gets 1 million views. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is a mega fight. Devin Haney versus Tank Davis is a mega fight. Devin Haney versus anybody is a mega fight. Devin Haney
Really?
versus Lomachenko is a mega fight.
Devin Haney?
Numbers and statistics prove otherwise. Prove so, because every time he on YouTube, even on YouTube, bro, he doing freaking bads and he getting 1 million views. Meanwhile, Lomachenko got all this push behind him and he can't even sell in the States. So let's not pretend and let's not keep making excuses for these fighters, because
He's
whole
working
thing,
on his English. He'll get better.
Lomachenko, he need to work on his boxing and fighting the best.
Really?
Lomachenko keep talking about
Really?
he want the same thing.
He need
with
to work on
Canelo.
his boxing?
It's the same effect. Lomachenko keeps saying he want to be undisputed at 135, just like Canelo did at 160. But like Canelo asked for the French fries champion to duck Charlo, and he ducked Andrade, and he was one fight away to become undisputed. But he ducked these brothers because he's scared to get schooled. And he getting a guaranteed purse anyways. Lomachenko did the same thing. He was one fight removed from becoming undisputed at 135, but he had to go through a Devin Haney to do so, but he chose otherwise. So let's be honest here. Stop making excuses. Make shit happen. I'm telling you, you don't got no more excuses to give. I didn't expose all of them. I'm out here countering your excuses like I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. I said, your excuses too dusty. I'm too fresh out here. I ain't trying to hear no. A lot of things you keep bringing up, I already debunked in the last show. So we'll see for this segment. We'll see for this segment in the comment section when I post it as a separate video. And we're going to talk about this as settle the score on the next episode.
We will.
So be on the lookout for that. Now, the last topic of the day, unless you want to add one more, but this is the last topic. AJ wants everyone to bow down after he defeated Ruiz. Now, my thing is, obviously, he feels that, well, listen, everybody against me, everybody think I'm gonna lose, so I'm prove everybody wrong. But my problem with that is, listen, bro, you supposed to fight Wilder. You were supposed to fight Fury. Ruiz came and upset you out of nowhere. You made him a star. He didn't became one of the biggest Mexican stars of all time, and he out here competing with Canelo thanks to you. So go ahead and clean your mess up. Wilder cleaned your Ortiz mess that you ain't trying to fight. Wilder fought Fury, the guy you ain't trying to fight. Now you fought somebody you were supposed to beat, and you slept on. You gave him the belts. Now he done kept them by knocking you out and send you overseas. You didn't even want to fight him in the States. So don't say, oh, everybody need to bow down after I beat Ruiz. Nah, if you beat Ruiz, then Wilder, and then Fury, then everybody bow down. I could see that. You know what I mean? I feel you on that. But to beat somebody you were supposed to beat the first time, that's what you supposed to do. Nobody got to bow down for nothing. You made Ruiz a star. You need to clean your mess. So to that, you say what?
I say that this is one of those cases where there's a certain amount of arrogance that is trying to disguise itself as confidence in this point. So with that, so he's somebody who admittedly watches Wilder fights and does these things. So when he fought Dominique Brazil, I think he knocked him out in the 6th or 7th round. And so when Wilder fought him, he didn't want Wilder to do a better job of that. So what does Wilder do? He goes and smashes the guy in one round, which is, to me, I think that might be the knockout of the year. And then, so what does Anthony Joshua go and do? He goes and really embarrasses himself and loses against Ruiz. He looked just kind of out of it. It was a pretty big stage. It was Madison Square Garden. And he got embarrassed by the little chubby Mexican dude. And then so from there, Deontay Wilder comes up and sleeps Ortiz, who is easily one of the top 3 heavyweights in the world. So Joshua, you have a lot of work to do at this point. So you need to first exercise these demons against Ruiz and beat him. There's probably gonna, I guess, I don't know if there's gonna be another rematch or something like that. I don't want to see y'all keep going around in the circle. But you also have Tyson Fury out there. You also have Deontay Wilder. And until you do those things, nobody's gonna be bowing at your feet, man. I'm sorry.
Then he could ask to put respect on his name. But right now, ain't nobody finna put respect on his name because, like I said, this is the mess you got to clean up because you made this happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't even fighting the brother in the States. You out here fighting him in Saudi Arabia, in the Saudi, a place that never hosted boxing again. Now, like I said, I agree with you 100%. He got to, do these things. He got to fight the fighters like Wilder. He out here talking about after the Ruiz fight, don't ask me to fight Wilder and Fury. Like, what? That's why people ain't going to back down because you out here making comments like that. You were supposed to say, after I beat Ruiz, I want the winner of Wilder versus Fury next. That's what you were supposed to say.
Exactly.
That's something that Wilder will say.
Exactly.
But obviously, these fighters are cut from two different cloths. Wilder is mentally 100% there. Like boxing is 100%, or 90% mental, 10% physical. That's why Wilder is such a powerful force in boxing because he mentally strong. Regardless of his skills, regardless of any of that. His mental alone wins him fights.
Now,
AJ, on the other hand, is the other way around. It's the reverse. It's the, you know what I mean? It's like the negative effect. He mentally weak. Like, he got to be, I feel like AJ is the fighter. He gained confidence with fights. And then him not having the best chin in the world, he don't want to see Wilder. He definitely going to have a hard time with Ruiz. I got Ruiz winning that fight just off what he been saying. He always kind of flip-flop. He would say this one day. Next day, he would say something else. One day, he would say it was a lucky punch. Next day, he would say, I'm taking him serious, this and that. It was in a lucky punch. So it's always like he flip-flopping. So I can't put my money on somebody that's
it's hard.
He not 100% there. And I feel like the best attributes of AJ sometimes is actually him going in the inside and letting his hands fly. Like,
well,
his favorite fighter is Holyfield.
Yeah, he's got good technique, and he throws combinations. And at one point, they classified him as probably the best closer in boxing. Like once he gets you hurt, because he doesn't necessarily just have that
what
one
cost him
punch.
Versus Ruiz.
It did. It did. He got hit.
His problem, like, he could fight like Holyfield a little bit, but Holyfield had a great iron chin. He did. And he had that inside game, and he had all the heart in the world.
And he had that dog in him. And I don't see that in
when
AJ. AJ, I don't see that in him at this point.
Yeah, so that being said, we'll see what AJ decides to do. We'll see how he performs. Obviously, Wilder he had the knockout of the year, you could say. You know what I'm saying? He had that right hand from Alabama. It erased everything the judges did on their scorecard. Canelo Alvarez obviously has the judges in his pocket. If you pull out what's inside Canelo pocket, the scorecards of the judges will come out. However, with Deontay Wilder, what he does have, he has that eraser that it don't matter what the judge has been writing, he erases everything. He erases whatever you did in the boxing history too. He got that power to do that. So that being said, thank y'all for tuning in for Split Decision. It's a pleasure to have y'all. Thank you to Professor Nim. Click on the subscribe button if you're trying to get smarter about the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these casual fans. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post to go live. Check out our reaction to the fight. If you click on the notification bell, you get notified when we go live, and we will have this show live soon enough. So for all the people, if y'all want to tune in, call in, call Professor Nim for all them buzzes that he gets for all the false information. You know what I'm saying? And call in, and we're going to have one call in for every topic. So y'all got to stay on topic. You know what I mean? We're going to have a last call in. Like, we're going to have 3 people, 4 people call in just to, in general, just any questions and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. We sure have that soon enough. We're going to go live, and we're going to do it one time. We're going to do it big like Deontay Wilder. The baddest man on the planet, and Split Decision. You already know.
2020, we going live, baby.
We going live, and you already know. God only made a couple things perfect. Floyd Mayweather undefeated record. Me on Split Decision, winning by unanimous decision. I feel like today I won by knockout like Wilder, but the only thing me and Wilder didn't perform the same way is me actually dominating Professor Nim. But I slept them just like Wilder slept Ortiz. To that you say what?
That's laughable.
To that you say what?
That's laughable, like Deontay Wilder's outfit walking into the ring. I'll say that.
That brother was fresh, bro. That brother was fresh. He gave me flashbacks.
That was
to the Prince.
not fresh.
After the fight, he was looking like Michael Jackson. He all he was missing.
When was Michael Jackson ever known as being fresh?
Man, that whatever he was wearing, that shit cost some bread. So he was doing that moonwalk. All he was missing to do that moonwalk. Wilder, he should have did that moonwalk after he knocked out Ortiz. To be honest,
hey Wilder, call me, man. I'll give you some style tips, bro. Hit me up, bro. I got you.
How about you give Lomachenko and Canelo some tips of how to be like Deontay Wilder and carry themselves like a champion should be, not giving up the title. Deontay Wilder said he would never request no French fries title. Deontay Wilder said, congratulations to Canelo, but me, I want to fight my mandatories. I want to knock them out. That's what I'm talking about. He wants all the smoke. He wants all the straps, one face, one name in the sport of boxing. So, obviously, you probably could give Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko a tip or two on that. Call Canelo and make things happen, Professor Nin. So, appreciate y'all for tuning in. We back on the map and we finna take over. So, we out of here.
Why? And that I go and say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice on my bay, yeah. You riding on me, I get my drip overseas. Niggas I hate.